What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick and I hope you guys are doing well whenever you are checking out today's brand new music related video. Hope you're doing fantastic here because we have another top 10 for you guys. It has been way too long since we've done a top 10, especially a music related one, but I am so excited to finally get to present this particular subject today because this is a list idea I've had for a very, very long time, and I hope it'll create some really cool discussion in the comments. Songs that I do not like by bands that I enjoy. Pretty self-explanatory here, but essentially just songs or tracks by certain rock bands or singers that I think are just not that good, not comparable to their other work, but I enjoy the band's other material. Of course, this is just my opinion, so don't take it too seriously here. And like I said, this is all just to create good discourse and conversation in the comments. So if you happen to disagree, or if you want to leave a list of your own, I would love to read it. All I ask is that you keep it civil and you hear others out as always. With that in mind, though, let's take a look at some honorable mentions before we get into the list proper. I got 5 of them for you, starting off with We Are the Clash by, of course, The Clash here. This is off of their final record, Cut the Crap, which is pretty appropriate name considering the success rate of that particular record. It was just not received well at all, and this being the one single from it that fans, I guess, still kind of cling to. I don't understand why, because this hook is dreadful. It is all the members just screaming at the top of their lungs the title of the song, and it just is not very pleasant to listen to at all. I recommend checking out Todd in the Shadow's episode of his series Train Records on this song and this album because he does a really good deep dive of it, but man, it is just dreadful. I know all Clash fans that I have talked to in my life absolutely despise this one. Next up we have from Paramore here the song Decode from the Twilight soundtrack. I have just never understood why this particular song is such a highly rated one within the fandom. I have just never found this one to be that interesting, especially compared to a lot of their other work on their later records, especially the recent ones like After Laughter and their newest one, This Is Why, because that was just an incredible comeback for them. I thought that that record had some really, really great lyrics and very introspective type of writing on it. But comparably to this song, which was pretty earlier in their career, the song came out in 2008, this one just is amateur hour comparably. I don't think that the instrumental's that interesting. I don't really like Hayley Williams' voice on this song, even though I think she's a good singer. I just don't really think it matches up with the rest of their catalog, and in my opinion is one of their weaker outputs. Next up, going all the way back to a very, very old school artist here, we have Ella Fitzgerald with her song Stone Cold Dead in the Market. Now listen, I don't know who came up with this. I don't think it's her song proper. I think it's like an old written song from like the 1930s that she covered, but her version of it is just ass, bro. I really like Ella Fitzgerald. In fact, she's one of my favorite jazz performers, and that's coming from someone who doesn't really like jazz at all. So that's a very, very high compliment that I can give. But this particular song is just weird as shit. It's basically about this woman who finds out that she's in relationship with her husband who's cheating on her, and she decides that she's gonna murder him at the grocery store. I don't understand it. I work at a grocery store. I've never seen murder before. I don't know who came up with this. They're sick in the head, let me tell y'all. Internet Money featuring Lil Tecca and A Boogie with a Hoodie with their song Somebody is next up. And this song, man, is just so boring. I'm sorry. I really like Lil Tecca and A Boogie. I think they have some really, really fun singles. They can be very dynamic rappers at times. And I think Internet Money and their production team is really, really solid as well. Nick Mira, one of my favorite producers in rap. But this song, man, is just so boring. It's so sleepy. The energy here is just not up to par with a lot of their other singles. This just does nothing for me at all. Very forgettable in my opinion. And then the final honorable mention I have is actually an album, but I would say any song off of Forever the Sickest Kid's self-titled record there. I have commented in the past, I think on this channel, that I really like Forever the Sickest Kids, and they're a very underrated pop punk band that I have a lot of nostalgia for, but this particular album I think is absolute dog shit. I have never enjoyed this one. I think the production on it is super flat. It just does not have the energy once again, and even lyrically, I think some of their earlier work that I really enjoy, like Alta Dogmata, is way better lyrically and with their storytelling and stuff than anything on this particular album. So I didn't know what song to pick because they're all just kind of the same for me. It's just all a big ball of mush. So any song off of that record I would put as my final honorable mention. But with those out of the way, we can finally dive into the list proper here, beginning with my number 10 selection, which is...
Hold up. You cannot make this shit if you're a fraud. They do not make nothing like this no more.
Green Juice by Pharrell Williams, The Neptunes, and A$AP Ferg. All of those guys extremely talented in their own fields. Of course, the Neptunes and Pharrell Williams have kind of carved themselves out a niche in the hip-hop scene as being one of the top producing teams in the world there. They have worked with so many big artists over the years, and of course Pharrell has had a very big solo career as well, so he is a name that everybody is going to recognize. And then A$AP Ferg is one of my favorites, especially from A$AP Mob, of course. I was hanging out with a couple of my buddies just a few weeks ago, and I mentioned to my buddy Chinadu that I think that A$AP Ferg is actually better than Rocky, and he was kind of surprised by that. He thought that was sort of an unpopular opinion that I hold, but I really like Ferg. I think he's very underrated. But with this particular song, their energy here, again, is just so boring and so sleepy. The one positive I will say with this track, though, is its music video is top notch, man. This is one of the coolest music videos I've seen ever, bro. It's probably in like the top 50, maybe even top 25 coolest music videos of all time. It's got the really slick transitions. It's got some really awesome VFX as well. It's just a very, very dynamic, really, really high quality production. But stripping that away from this song, what you're left with is a very mediocre rap tune that just does not have any staying power.
You bitches really get carried away. Making mistakes, then you beg me to stay.
Man, I know it's a cliche to hate on Drake at this point, and I'm not really a Drake hater. I think that he has a lot of really fun songs. I would honestly even say that he's a bit overhated at times. But with his new project, For All the Dogs, this being the leadoff single was just a really, really bad choice here. Slime You Out, again, is just not up to par with a lot of the other Drake songs, and in my opinion is one of the weaker songs because of Drake proper. Usually I would say it might be because of his production or even his lyrics that, of course, are getting ghost written. That's not a secret at this point. But with this particular song, it's really in Drake's delivery here. There are some really cool bars here that I think could work well if Drake sold me on them, but he just does not do that. As for SZA, I really like SZA as well. She's a very, very talented R&B singer who's had a lot of big singles pop off in the last few years. But again, I just think that her energy here just doesn't really match with Drake. This is just a collab that I wouldn't say couldn't work in certain situations, but on this particular track, maybe they just caught him on an off day or something. I just did not buy their chemistry here, and as a result, it comes in at number 9. A similar story to We Are the Clash, as we talked about earlier. Sweet Hitchhiker was the lead single from CCR's final album, Mardi Gras, and there is a reason why it was their final album. I've mentioned this in some past videos that this song just annoys me to no end. John Fogerty here, I don't know what the hell he was doing that day, man. What the fuck he was on. His delivery here is so whack. It's so weird. The chorus is so annoying, and his voice here, I just cannot stand it on this track. This is a very raucous tune, and there's some really interesting instrumental production here. I think the guitar work on this song is actually pretty solid, all things considered, but I just do not like his voice. I do not like his singing, and the fact that they tuck it away at the very end of the album here is very strange. This feels like it should be an opener, or maybe even like, you know, something to pump you up in the middle of the album to get you through the rest of it, but having it as the closer just makes no sense whatsoever.
I'm going Kanye crazy. Kanye crazy, Kanye crazy. I'm going Kanye crazy, Kanye crazy.
Man, what is it with all these damn rappers having amazing music videos and then just not delivering on the music part of it? Lil Durk here is a Chicago drill rapper who has definitely popped off in the last few years with some really big singles and some big collaborations with fellow Chicago drill artists like King Von, for example, rest in peace, of course. And he has had a lot of collaborations with Lyrical Lemonade, being one of the biggest music video production houses run by Cole Bennett, one of the most famed music video directors. This is an homage to Kanye West, and love him or hate him, Kanye has had no shortage of iconic moments, all of which are captured in this video, with Durk recreating them with popular music videos or interviews or other different events that Kanye was noted for that are recreated in this music video. And it's really, really interesting, and it's really a special one, especially if you are a Kanye West fan. But like I said, the music here just does not add up. It is just, again, very, very boring. The hook here, it feels like Durk is about to fall asleep. There's just no energy here. When he sings the title of the song, Kanye Crazy, he just does it in a way where he just feels so disconnected and so disinterested. It's just not a good performance by someone who usually is very, very energetic and has some really interesting bars here. But on this song, man, he just does not deliver. When I first heard this song, my initial thought was, I don't know who the hell is in charge of this young lady's collaborations, but whoever that person is needs to be fired immediately. Because who the hell thought that Fetty Wap, of all people, was gonna match with a Meg Donnelly song? For those of you who are unaware, Meg Donnelly is a singer and actress who really made her mark in the TV scene a few years back with her role on American Housewife, very popular sitcom on ABC, and progressively got a lot of roles through the Disney Corporation, doing some TV movies like the Zombie series where she was able to sing as well. Those are kind of musical movies as well. And then started her solo career as a pop singer a few years after that, with this being one of her biggest songs, With You, with, of course, the collaboration of Fetty Wap here. And in my opinion, Meg Donnelly herself is okay on this track. I don't think she's like an amazing singer or anything. I definitely like her more as an actress, and I've been a fan of a lot of her work for a while now, so I was pretty interested to see what she was going to do in the music scene, because a lot of the times when you have those actresses who start off with comedies or something in the TV scene and then they transition to music, it can go one of two ways. You either get like an Olivia Rodrigo and she's incredible, she has a lot of talent that she wants to showcase and maybe just use TV as a stepping stone to get there, or sometimes you get like a Miley Cyrus and it's very corporate and stuff, and then it takes a long time for her to kind of find her voice and find what she's really set to do within that space. But with Meg Donnelly, it felt like right off the bat, this shit was as sterile and as corporate as can be. Her sound is very much like sort of a Julia Michaels or maybe even like a Haley Steinfeld of sorts, and I don't necessarily dislike those artists, but they're not people that I would go out and seek. With this particular track though, Fetty Wap here really drops the ball. This guy was everywhere back in 2015, and people of my generation know how popular his songs were. You couldn't go about 10 minutes on any given radio station without hearing 1738. That is still burned into my retina to this day. I will never forget the first time I heard it. I really, really love Fetty Wap, and I hope that he does make a comeback at some point. I think he can still put out a really, really great project if he wanted to. But man, this particular song, it's so bad. I'm kind of delaying the inevitable because I want to show you his part in full, and I don't think y'all are prepared for it.
I'm gonna kick it with you, kick it, something about your style. Let me show you how I'm different, bring you to my town. In a fast car, baby, we can take a ride. Let's go run the city, baby, this can take a while. Never seen nobody like it, I got feelings for you, baby. I'ma pull up in the Rari, drop the ceiling for you, baby. When we pull up to the party, everybody going crazy. Everybody know you pretty, everybody in my baby, yeah. I ain't trying to waste your time, baby.
Like, what the fuck was that shit? Honestly, I think that might be one of the worst features I've ever heard. Like, not even just within Fetty Wap's catalog, not just with a pop song, just period, bro. I don't know what the fuck he was doing there, but it's so laughably bad, and I feel so bad for him because, like I said, I really like this guy. I really like Meg Donnelly, but they just do not match at all. He just feels so out of place. He feels like he's on an entirely different song. And the lyrics, man, that's as basic as they come. That's as elementary, as foundational as they come here. And even someone like Fetty Wap, I mean, he was never like a lyrical genius or anything, but even he can do better than that.
Big booty, but you got a big booty.
Ooh.
Big booty, but you got a big booty.
Biggie
Big
eggs.
booty, but you got a big booty.
Go to work.
Big booty, but you
Ain't that a freak?
Siri, direct me to the nearest pharmacy, because I'm going to need some fucking ibuprofen after this monstrosity. Let me tell you something that I saw in the Behind the Music episode for Jennifer Lopez that really put stuff into perspective for me. So back in 2014, when the song released, she was at the Music Video Awards on MTV. And annually speaking, I mean, that's not really like a huge accomplishment or anything. It's not like a Grammy necessarily, but it's still a pretty big honor to be featured. And especially with the more modern generation, she was sort of a pioneer of music videos in the MTV day. She has earned her stripes for sure within that camp. And when she received her award for the Lifetime Achievement sort of honor that they do each year, this song was playing because it was the hot new single. She collabed with the hot new up-and-coming rapper Iggy Azalea, and this is what they wanted to promote. And there's something about that that just feels very Black Mirror-ish, you know, in a way that's just very unexplainable. I have to imagine that the person in charge of the writing here has never slept with a woman and was probably not allowed to be in the same room as Jennifer Lopez or Iggy Azalea when they were filming the music video, because that dude is the biggest incel on the planet. Guys, you can't just say the word booty over and over again and expect that to be a hook. You can't say that and expect it to be a fucking chorus. You need to actually put some work into it. The long-standing history of booty jams in pop music deserves better than this.
Open your mind and your heart. Open your mind and your heart. Open your mind and your heart.
If I haven't said it already, BLP Kosher is probably my favorite artist right now. Like, I have a playlist on my iTunes that's just a bunch of his songs, and I put that bitch on pretty much every single day at this point. I absolutely love this guy. He is an incredible talent, someone coming up from Florida here that sort of rode the waves a little bit off of the Lyrical Lemonade placement that he had with Babytron to do some really, really interesting stuff on his debut album, Bar's Mitzvah. Which, if you know, you know. But let me tell you, on that album, there's some experimental songs that take his usual fast-paced, rap, bar-heavy style and completely change that to do a rock, pop-punk sort of vibe. And holy shit, does it not fucking work on this song. Open your mind and your heart. Open your mind and your heart. It sounds like he's on the verge of tears, bro. And also, even the most pedantic fucking pop-punk singers of the 2000s didn't even do this shit. What the hell are you doing, Ben? I can't get behind this track. It has no lyrical density. It has nothing interesting in the production. It has nothing interesting in the instrumentation. And his delivery here, as I said, is like he's on the verge of tears / he's about to fall asleep. I don't even know how one does that, but somehow BLP Kosher figured out a way to do so. again, I really, really respect this guy. I think he is in the next phase of like trying to really advance his career, and I appreciate trying to be out of his comfort zone and doing something that's a little more outside the box. But man, there should have been someone to like pull him aside and say like, hey, I don't know if we need all these extra songs, all right? Trim it down to about a dozen here, take out all that rock crap. I don't think your fans are gonna like that. Because I've heard nothing but mixed opinions from the fandom on those songs, and at worst, pure hatred, especially for Open Your Mind. I blame Cher. Maybe not entirely. T-Pain, of course, was another big advocate for it. Auto-tune is an instrument and should be used very, very wisely. Just like a drum or a guitar or a bass or a piano or even the human voice itself. It's all meant to create a soundscape that listeners can enjoy, that they can reflect on, that they can find themselves lost in. I guess Fun didn't get that fucking memo, did they? Like, what the fuck is this song, bro? It's like a dying beached whale was recorded, and then that audio track was messed with in GarageBand or something. It just does not sound good at all, and it's painfully long. When I say painfully long, I mean this album is only about 12 songs long. Each of those are maybe 3 to 4 minutes. This is a near 7-minute disaster, okay? And just being the lead singer just screaming unintelligently into the mic with autotune over it. That's all this song is, for 7 minutes long. I can think of a lot of better uses of 7 fucking minutes of your time than to listen to this crap.
I wanna be free, like the bluebirds flying by me, like the waves out on the blue sea.
So one thing that I didn't really mention as far as the ordering of this list goes is essentially the worse the song is versus how much I enjoy the particular artist. So a lot of the artists in the top 5 here are people that I think are really, really high in their respective genres. But the songs, of course, are arguably some of the worst I've ever heard. And with this particular one, the Monkees are one of the first bands that I and my brother Matt actually discovered way, way, way long ago when we were fucking toddlers. I have loved and adored pretty much everything about this band. I love their albums. I think they're a lot of fun, great to sing along to, and great for kids as well, because it's not super dense. It's not like you have to really think about it. It's just playful and super, super enjoyable. But man, ever since I was like 3 years old, I never liked I Wanna Be Free. I always thought it was so weird that it came into the album so early, and it just sounded so different from the rest of all the other songs. There's barely any drums here, there's barely any energy or that party vibe that you get with the Monkees. This is just an extremely watered down version of what that sound is. And again, has some of the worst delivery I've ever heard on a song here. Man, I absolutely love, 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 love the Monkees singers. But man, they just could not get it together here. I mean, trust me, I love, and I cannot stress this enough, Mickey Dolenz here as a lead singer. I absolutely adore that guy, okay? But if I ever met him in real life, the first thing I would do is go up to him and say with a straight face, I want to be free from I Want to Be Free. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll be here all week. Check back in on Friday for more shitty puns. I promise you they're there.
To the man that waited on me at the Starbucks down on Main, I hope you understand. When I put on that t-shirt, the only thing I meant to say is I'm a Skinner fan.
words. No words for this one. No fucking words can describe whatever the fuck was going through everybody's mind when they made Accidental Racist. This song has been the internet's punching bag for nearly a decade now since its release. Every news outlet wanted to interview Brad Paisley and LL Cool J. SNL made fun of the song in a Weekend Update sketch. And the song itself has been analyzed and combed through by several different essayists and videos on YouTube. All that my dumbass can add to it is the fact that they have lines in the very first verse about the Confederate flag being part of Lynyrd Skynyrd. Because trust me, I like to separate the art from the artist. But do you know how much memorabilia there is on Lynyrd Skynyrd that contains the Confederate flag? It's a distressing amount. LL Cool J is one of the most important rappers in history. He was very much part of the big movement in the 80s and 90s to put rap on its pedestal, to get it its respect, and he absolutely did do that over time. He's one of the most celebrated and respected hip-hop musicians ever to walk this earth. And Brad Paisley is a very, very, very good guitar player. He has some really, really, really impressive stuff in his catalog, even from, again, someone who doesn't really like country music all that much. But even as someone who likes both of these artists, we've seen in this very video that collaborations don't always work the way you think they do, even if those artists have the best intentions, which apparently both LL Cool J and Paisley do? At least according to them, the song is just meant to be something to bring people together, you know? Even with the best of intentions, this song was not going to work. Do you know how politically divided the United States is right now? Do you know how polarizing the genres of country music and hip-hop are? Just musically, this song was never going to work. And I'm not saying that country and rap can't work well. I mean, Lil Nas X disproved that theory years ago. But trust me when I say absolutely nobody in their right mind was going to look at the title of Accidental Racist and think to themselves, this is what America needs right now. I mean, for fuck's sakes, you have lyrics in this song like, if you don't judge my do-rag, I won't judge your red flag. If you don't judge my gold chains, I'll forget the iron chains. The relationship between the Mason-Dixon needs some fix. Quite frankly, I'm a black Yankee, but I've been thinking about this lately. Rip Robert E. Lee, but I've got to thank Abraham Lincoln for freeing me. Know what I mean? Nobody has ever said out loud, yo, Robert E. Lee, man. I and so many other people cannot take this song seriously. No matter how hard we try, no matter how well... no matter how hard we try, no matter how well-intentioned Brad Paisley or LL Cool J were here, this is by far the worst song by a good artist, and there's little competition. Thanks for sticking around to the end here and watching this video, everyone. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, be sure to share it out with someone who enjoys music as much as we do, and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next top 10 music-related list that we have coming very, very soon. I want to wish you guys a great rest of your day. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you in the next one.
Robert E. Lee.